Hey everyone, Chev here for video number 3 in the Fantasy Grounds tutorial I've been putting together. In this one, I'm going to show you much of the same thing as we did in the last one, creating character sheets, but we're going to create the shell sheets and then just use some predefined modules, and then we're going to create real sheets the way Fantasy Grounds wants you to do it, in case you do want to use Fantasy Grounds for everything, which actually is really cool. A lot of the functionality in here is awesome, so you just have to sacrifice allowing your players to use D&D Beyond, and so that's, it's up to you what you want to do. I own stuff in like pretty much everything in both places. I've slowly accumulated over the last couple years, and so I can let them pick and choose. I know they really like D&D Beyond, and they like leveling up their characters that way and stuff like that. So I let them use D&D Beyond, and we sacrifice a bunch of Fantasy Grounds functionality to do that. But I've been thinking about doing one where Fantasy Grounds is, the de facto standard, maybe a one-shot or something, and we don't use any external tools, because there's some really cool stuff in here, and I'm going to show you some of that after we create these sheets, though. Okay, so real fast, let's go ahead and load up Rum. We already had his sheet. You already know how to create the shell sheet for everything else. And we would do it all the same way until we get to the Actions tab. Okay, so I'm going to delete the Morning Star here. Once we get to the Actions tab, if you just buy a few modules, everything becomes easier. So let's actually go to fantasygrounds.com here and just go to the store, okay, and then go to Shop. And then just come down here and just search for, well, you can probably find it in some of these sets. Like here's the Essentials bundle. Yeah, so here's the Handbook. It's $30. And then there is the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual. So get those three, and that's $90. I know. So this is why I did the previous video. If you want to do it for free, that's the way you do it. But if you want to buy these, start with the Player's Handbook, add in the Monster Manual, and then the DMG. I would say those are the order of priority. So the Player's Handbook first, Monster Manual second, and then Dungeon Master's Guide. Once you own those, the modules will be downloaded to your computer when you update Fantasy Grounds. However, they are not loaded by default, which is why we weren't seeing any options when I was trying to use them, which was good, because then it forced me to show you how to do it manually. Go to the library. Library is kind of where everything is. This is where you can choose what buttons you see over here on the right. That's what this whole area is. And then here's all the modules you have loaded, which are none. You have to click Modules here. And then there's a bunch of modules in here that I've purchased. Some of them are in there for free. I think you can use these SRD modules already by default. In fact, I wonder what we get if we just load the 5e SRD data. We won't even load the other two. We'll just see what we get out of this. Let's see if we get stuff in items. Oh, let's delete. Oh no, there is a Morning Star. Oh, right, I have my search. So cool. So actually, we could have used that for free. Now that I realize. Let's see. What about Firebolt and spells? Do we have that? Cool. Okay, SRD. I forget what that means. What does SRD stand for? System Reference Document. So this is the stuff that they basically are willing to publish without you owning the modules. So actually, I would say do that. Now, the one thing I don't think we're going to have is NPCs. Yeah, because this is just for spells and items and then like the really basic stuff. So yeah, so we don't have any NPCs from this SRD thing. Let's load a couple more of these modules and see. So there's that one. Let's load the Bestiary. And let's load the magic items. And actually we can explore. So if you really want to know what's in a specific module, this is going to be a compendium of everything that you have based on all the modules you have loaded. So if all modules have additional items, they're all going to be loaded into this items window. But if you want to see what each individual one has, you can then look in here. Oh, look, NPCs. Alphabetical index. Oh, shit, yeah. That's got all the basic monsters. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and then we've got class index. Okay, so yeah, if you load the Bestiary, you get most of the NPCs too. So now if we load NPCs, there you go. Cool. So you don't really have to buy everything. There's stuff in the I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in the purchase stuff that's not in here in these SRD modules. But these I did not buy or download or anything. They're just there by default. If you hit modules, you'll see them. They're all there. Reference manual, bestiary, opening game license, monsters A to Z, Aboleth. Yeah, so you can load these up. Let's look what else we've got. I can tell we're missing some already, like Acolyte's not there. Yeah, it's definitely a smaller list for sure. Let's see, we got the magic items, so it's got some tables. Okay, we've got NPCs in here too. What NPCs do you have? Avatar of Death and Giant Fly. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. We've got magic items in this module. Cool. So all this stuff is available to you for free. So actually, let's use that. Let's see. This one's gonna have spells. Yeah, I imagine all the stuff we were trying to do it's going to have. So first, let's give Rum his Morning Star. And this is without paying me for anything. Let me remind you, like this SRD stuff, I just didn't realize that I forgot about these because I did own the modules already. Yeah, there you go, Morning Star. Just like that, it's already added. And then you can click this and load up the description here. Oh, I guess it doesn't have a description, but it doesn't really need one. Okay, let's go ahead and give him some spells. Let's give him Firebolt, which we've already searched for, so it's already filtered down. There you go. Range +3 and 1d10 fire. Now, you'll notice that this ranged spell attack changed. And it's because we're using a shell sheet, and it did not select the basic ability modifier. So that's the one thing you'll still have to do if you're using shell sheets and manually dragging spells onto the list. Just make sure you open up the power group, spells. Now, even if it says spells cantrips and you have spells level 1, spells level 2, you don't have to change it for all of those. You just have to change it for spells. Notice the actual group name is just spells. So if you just change that to charisma, there's our range +6 like we had before in that last video. And then you're good to go. You don't ever have to change that again. You just have to change it once. All right. That's it. You've got the compendium here. To load, let's just load additional modules just to see. Okay, so we've got NPCs. Let's go all the way back to the top. Oh, we do have Acolyte from the Bestiary. Wonder why I didn't see him before. Okay, so I don't know what's missing. In fact, but we can see though. Let's go ahead and let's go to the library. Let's go to modules, and let's load the monster manual. Okay, it takes a minute to load because it's got a lot of stuff in it. Once it's loaded, though, it goes back to being fast, but you'll see we're kind of spinning there. There we go. Okay, so now we load up the monster manual, and it also shows you everything we have in the monster manual. If you want to view stuff that's in a contained module and see exactly what's in there, you can use this library view. But otherwise, we can see out here. Okay, so there you go. So we've already got one that's not in the SRD. Aarakocra. Abominable Yeti's not in the SRD. Acolyte is. Adult Blue Dragon is. Yeah, so you can already see that whatever we're not doubled up on is stuff that only exists in the monster manual. So there's definitely some stuff that's not in there. So you may still want to buy those, but that's really cool that we can do that. I'm still glad I showed you guys the manual way, but now, yeah, we can use the SRD stuff for free, which is really awesome. Okay, so what's cool now is you can drag NPCs right to the combat tracker. Aarakocra? Sure. Aboleth? Sure. Let's see. Abominable Yeti? Sure. Just like that. Just you can drop those in. A lot of them have tokens. A bunch of them don't. A bunch of them just have the letter tokens, which is kind of annoying. So I do have to find a lot of tokens sometimes, but it's not a big deal. We can just delete all the non-friendlies. Okay. So that's how you can quickly add stuff now, and how you can add items to the action area of a character sheet. Let's see. Yeah. So when you add like weapons to the actions, it automatically adds them to the inventory, It's up to you. You don't have to remove it if you're not using the inventory tab, but I like to remove stuff just to keep it clean. Okay, let's delete Rum. And let's create him proper, okay? Now this is harder to keep in sync. So if you're using D&D Beyond, I don't recommend doing this. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You can, but it's a lot harder to keep everything in sync. Okay, so we're going to create Rum here. And we're going to create his portrait. Okay, got that. Let's go ahead and grab our Goliath token. And put that on there. I like round tokens whenever possible. Okay, that's all good, well and good. The first thing you have to do, and this is kind of annoying, but the first thing you have to do is set your stats, but you have to set the base stats. Now if we go look at Rum, oh, come on. Fine. Let's go back to collections, characters, Rum. Okay. These abilities are modified by features, by my race, everything. And once we start adding those features and the race in Fantasy Grounds, it's going to add to the ability scores that are there. So this is actually quite annoying. But the way to do it is to go to the abilities tab in the creator here and use these raw numbers. Notice they're different from the numbers out here. I have 18, 13, 15, 10, 12, 16. And here I have 16, 13, 14, 10, 12, 16. So they're different. And then it's going to show you all the math that it does to arrive at 18 for strength here. And that's all great because D&D Beyond's great. But yeah, so we want these numbers to be what we start out with. So 16, 13, 14. Okay, 16, 13, 14. And then 10, 12, 16. 10, 12, 16. Okay. And then that's it. So we set up those abilities. Now we can start dragging stuff. Okay, so let's go to create PC to keep it simple. Limits the buttons to just the buttons you want for PC. Okay, so let's start with class. Well, let's actually start with race. Start with race. We'll do... Okay, so I have Goliath, and apparently Goliath isn't in here, so we're going to have to load the module that it's in. What module would that be? D&D 5e, what module has Goliath? Does it say? A lot of the times it will say the source down here somewhere. Elemental Evil Player's Companion? Do I have that? Is that something I own? Let's see. Modules. I don't think that's right. That doesn't sound familiar. Well, one way to figure stuff out is just load and see how the list changes. So I know I have Volo's Guide. Okay, did that do it? Oh, yep, there's Goliath. He's in Volo's Guide. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's grab our Goliath. Put him there. Oh yeah, you can drag it anywhere. It knows it's a race, and so put it in the race field. Look, and it even has a link to the race. So you can find all the information about it. You can find a picture of a Goliath, all that good stuff. Okay, and then we're going to let's just do background while we're at it. He's a folk hero. Oh. We don't really have many backgrounds, do we? Just Acolyte. That's crazy. Alright. Let's just go load up a bunch of modules that I own. We'll just run through this real fast. Okay, I've got the Dungeon Master's Guide. Come on, load. Come on. Okay, bring that to the forefront. Okay, that didn't bring in any new backgrounds. I'm guessing the player's manual probably will. player handbook once we get there. I have the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Monster Manual's already low. There's the handbook. I'll bet that brings in a lot of our backgrounds. Cool. Okay. And then Folk Hero is right there. Okay, awesome. So sometimes a little bit of trial and error. It's hard to remember what everything's in. That's just the way they do their business, I guess. Wizards of the Coast. Okay, so we got Folk Hero. And then you can see already, because we're adding stuff, we now have stuff in the Abilities tab. You can see Features. This is a Folk Hero feature, Rustic Hospitality. And then we've got stuff from Goliath, Mountain Born, Natural Athlete, Powerful Build, Stone's Endurance. Proficiencies, we filled those out. We filled our languages out already. Skills are already all filled out. Or at least some of them are, anyway. Apparently with our... Is it our race that gives us the animal handling? Let's see, skill, animal handling. Oh, yeah. Oh, the background gave us animal handling and survival. And then... What else gave us skill? Athletics. That was after we added race. So you can kind of see a little itinerary over here of everything that was modified as we added stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and find class. And we'll find Barbarian. And I'll just add it from the handbook. I don't think it matters which one I choose. Okay, and then select skills. Okay, so if we're copying from D&D Beyond, then the best thing we can do here is go back to the character builder and then go find what we chose. So class, we chose 2 proficiencies, animal handling and intimidation. Okay, so we'll choose animal handling and intimidation, which I think... Because we chose animal handling before we chose our background gave us the option to choose something else. So I'm not sure what happens, though, if we choose animal handling here. Yeah, okay. So see, we missed out on something. Because if we go to description here, and we look Folk Hero, skill proficiencies, it has survival, but then we have a drop down. And that's because we had already chosen animal handling. And so we ended up with persuasion instead of animal handling. But in Fantasy Grounds, it didn't recognize that. We would have missed out on one. So I'm going to go ahead and check persuasion because we're proficient in that, because that's what we would have chose. But yeah, so see, D&D Beyond is better about that. It's like, okay, Folk Hero gives you animal handling, but you already chose that with your class proficiency. So let's go ahead and let you choose a different one. And that's awesome. But Fantasy Grounds is not so great about that sometimes. Now, also keep in mind, Fantasy Grounds sheets are kind of like a one direction. Like, we can build this up, but then to remove things, we can't just remove the Goliath and have all the traits from the Goliath traits go with it. If we remove Goliath from this field, that's all it does. It just removes Goliath from that field. We then have to come in here and find all the stuff that Goliath added, and you can use this list of everything it did if you want, and go back up all that stuff. It's super annoying. It's usually easier to just start all over, honestly. Just start from the beginning. So that's the one downside to these sheets, is it's not intuitive to put together. But once they are put together, they are very, very powerful in the way they integrate with the rest of Fantasy Grounds. So there you have it. All right, we added our class. Let's see, is that everything? Oh no, we need a feature. Let's actually just look. So feet. Okay. And our feat right now is features and traits. We've got alert. Okay, alert right there. Okay. Proficiencies. Oh, maybe it doesn't work on that page. I guess I gotta add it on this page. There we go. Added alert. And then that should increase our initiative. Yep. And it should increase, let's see, alert. +5 bonus to initiative. Can't be surprised. Other creatures don't gain advantage. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's not really all it does. Is gives us that initiative bonus, which it's doing. There's no real way to you know, to kind of see that. All you can do is look and is read it and kind of know what it did. A lot of stuff happens behind the scenes. You know, it's like it added that to the init, so it did its job, but it didn't. There's no explicit thing here saying, oh, this is why your initiative's higher. So it's hard to backtrack where certain things are coming from. So you just have to be very cognizant of like what you're doing and, you know, what you've added and all that stuff. Okay, items. We already know we have a morning star and 2 hand axes. So let's add the morning star. And then, yeah, 2 hand axes and a javelin. Hand axe. And then for a hand axe, it will add 2 entries because it can be used as a ranged and a melee. So you can throw the hand axe or you can use it as melee. And this is just giving you the way to cast both. So instead of adding another hand axe, saying I have 2, I just increase the ammo on the ranged one. And then let's see if we go to actions. Oh yeah, they're equipped. Oh, we have 2 of those. Okay. I wonder if that would have modified that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we've added the hand axe. Oh, and I guess we're going to use this proper, right? So we're going to add everything. So let's just go through the entire equipment. So backpack. Okay, backpack empty. Bedroll. Okay, clothes common. And we already added the hand axe. We need the javelin. Okay, and then we've got jeweler's tools. Okay, mess kit. Pot iron. Okay, rations. How many do we have of those? That's 10. 10 rations. I guess I should be looking at the quantities of these. We have 4 javelins. Okay. Rope. Shovel. Tinderbox. Notice that most of the things I've selected have a SRD version. I'm using the handbook since it probably doesn't really matter, and I own the handbook, so might as well use it. Torch. Water skin. Okay, that's all my items. So it says I'm carrying 95 pounds on D&D Beyond. 86. So I've noticed that there's some differences in that kind of stuff. For some reason, the weight is not all the same. So 5 pounds for a backpack, 7, 3. Hand axes should be. Wait, is it not? It's not increasing the. Let's delete the hand axes real fast. Okay, because we added them through here. Let's go back to the inventory. Let's add hand axes back. And let's increase that to 2. It really doesn't increase the weight, does it? What the hell? So I could have 10 hand axes and it doesn't increase the weight? That seems like a bug. I am pretty sure that worked in Fantasy Grounds Classic, and it's not working here. So, yeah, okay. And then the javelin is... There's 4 javelins, and the weight ends up being 8 pounds. Yep, and so it left it at 2. That's definitely a bug. I'll have to go report that to them. Okay, so Then what else do we have of more quantity? Rations. The rations ended up weighing 5 pounds total. Right? Nope, that's the cost. I'm dumb. Rations, 20 pounds total. Are we at 95 now? Oh, wait, hold on. What's going on? Morning Star is 4 pounds. Yep. And then let's see. The rations, the rope, the hand axes should be 4 pounds. The javelins should be 8 pounds. £95. What did I screw up? Oh, rope. Wait, how much does rope weigh? 10 pounds. I screwed something up. Or is that the weight per item? Is that what's going on? Maybe it isn't a bug. Maybe this is just the weight per item and it is calculating it correctly then? So how much does one ration weigh? £2. 20 pounds. Okay, that's right. So one ration. So let's go down to 2 pounds. Okay, yeah, that went down by a lot. So it's clearly... we must be wrong then. Javelin was 2 pounds per javelin. Hand axe was 2 pounds per hand axe. So yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where we're off then. Okay, so here's a way to test it. We have 4 javelins, 2 pounds each. Should be 8 pounds total. If we add one more javelin, it should go up to 88 down here. So let's add one more javelin. Okay, all right, it is calculating it in the total. Okay, that's weird. So 5, 7, 3, 2, 2, 5, 7, 3, 2, 2, javelin 8. Oh wait, 573, hand axe, 2 jeweler's tools, 2, okay. Mess kit is 1 pound. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's causing that discrepancy. Let's not focus on that anymore. I've noticed this before, and I'm not exactly sure why it is. Maybe it has to do with the coins. Maybe the coins are contributing weight or something. I'm not sure, but it's okay. The difference is usually negligible. Okay, so inventory is done. Oh, how much gold does he have? 10 gold. So I think GP... just like that. And then EP, SP, and copper pieces. Did I miss any? Copper, silver, electric, gold, platinum. Oh, oops. I guess that should have been platinum, which would be 0. Gold. So when you actually add coins from like a parcel, which I'll show you in a minute, it will fill these in for them anyway. I just like to have them filled out already. And so I fill them in, and then because you have to give them the starting gold. Okay. All right, that's everything for his equipment. Okay, and that did not add any weight to the current weight, so good to know. Okay, and then notes. Again, this is just if you want to fill all that out. If you have stuff in your description, that's all for you. The log is for the player. And you can notice all the stuff we added to our inventory already shows up in our weapons here. And let's see. So we don't have the hand axes equipped. So we're going to leave those carried but not equipped. Same with the javelin. And the Morning Star is equipped. Okay, and then we don't have any armor equipped, or we could add that and it would add to our AC. We are getting AC bonus from, I think, just our class and our race, so that's where we're getting the 13 from. Oh yeah, this tells you dexterity bonus and unarmored bonus. Also, we have an unarmored defense, probably from Goliath. Cool. Okay, that's it. That's a complete sheet. And then to level up, that's the other thing, is that once you go to level up, you're like, what do I do? Because then you just go in here and you increase this level and nothing happens. So now to level up, but it gives you choices. You just drag Barbarian on again. Okay, Barbarian 2, it gave us Reckless Attack and Danger Sense. Great. If we drag Barbarian again, level 3, now we have a choice. We have to choose a path. There's duplicate because we loaded a few modules that have duplicates, the SRD and the handbook probably. So we'll just do Path of the Berserker. Probably doesn't matter which one. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and he's level 5, so we'll drag it again. Okay, that added ability score improvements, so our ability scores went up. And then again, and added an extra attack and fast movement. So that's how you level them up, and that's how you get the choices to pop up as you level up and get the different choices. So D&D Beyond, way better, obviously. It makes it so much easier to see what your choices are and to reverse those choices. But you know, that's how you do it here. And it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's pretty good. And that's it. That's how you do Rum. I'm going to do a separate one for combat now, just because this video has already gone on for a half an hour, just showing you how to use these modules and different items. So yeah, and I spent so much time searching on that weight thing. I apologize for that. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next